Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen and BoredGamer channel update for January 2020. Happy New Year and Happy New Decade as well. The last few weeks since CitizenCon have been mega hectic for me. I've had a cold, I've been genuinely exhausted and worn out. Christmas is the most stressful time of the year for me. I work more in November and December than I do any other time of the year because more people are at home watching videos, and there is so much Star Citizen content made from November to December, from a patch being released, CitizenCon, a load of new stuff happening. But I was also, for Christmas, cooking for my family, and I went out a load because it was New Year and stuff, and it's when everyone else has time off, so I go and see them. So it's a lot of it self-inflicted, and me, having too much wine and now whining about it. I now need to get to work on losing some of the weight I gained over Christmas. My dad's doing well. Thank you very much for all the kind messages. People keep on messaging me, so thank you very much for that still. Mental health-wise, I am pretty well, although I am constantly panicked about health worries at the moment. Something I think will pass in time. Hopefully, when I've got back more into the swing of life and lost a little bit of weight again, I think I'll be a bit better. Giveaways! So, the December winner for the Carrack was Brian Jacobs. Congratulations. I'm out of giant ships for giveaway at the moment. So for January 2020, we've got an Anvil Arrow and Star Citizen game package to give away. I'm going to try and give away game packages with the ships at the same time because that sort of makes sense. If it's someone that doesn't have a Star Citizen package, I don't want them to have a really expensive ship that they can't use. I want them to be able to get into the game as well. CIG did offer me a mole for giveaway with the launch of Alpha 3.8. And they've been doing this for myself and other content creators since 3.7, I believe. So they offer content creators a ship for their community to give away. I, at the moment, am thanking them for the offer, but not accepting ships or pretty much anything else that they would offer me other than studio tours. That's the only thing I really want from them, studio tours, and if they can allow me to go around their events as press, great. I want to pay for everything. I don't want them to give me a computer. I don't want them to give me hotels or trips or anything. I just want the access. That's pretty much it. I'm obviously a Star Citizen fanboy and love the game and project and have a vested interest in Star Citizen doing well as my channel makes content on it. But I have reservations accepting stuff like that for free from Star Citizen CIG at this stage until they've maybe fully released a product or they're not reliant on backer money at the moment, that sort of stuff. As soon as they move past that phase, I'll probably reconsider my stance. I treat my company and my channel like a business, so because it is, and I don't want to rule anything out in the future, but I want to be very, very, very obvious and honest and blunt about it on my channel. If you think I'm being overly silly, then feel free to tell me, but I worry about it being a slippery slope. You certainly see content creators for other games and other industries, they get used to a certain lifestyle from getting stuff for free from games and stuff like that. They sort of wine and dine you, and I don't want that to affect what I'm putting out. I want to be able to say how I feel about certain things. Now, typically it's mostly positive for CIG, and I'm not super aggressively critical about stuff, but I am able still to speak my mind. And rather than being blacklisted by CIG or on the books of them giving me free stuff, I'd rather not be listed at all. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of my current thinking. Alpha 3.8 came out at the end of December. It was both awesome and flawed, with some annoying game-breaking bugs for me at the moment. So we will do, I've got a lot of content planned over the next few weeks. Now, maybe they get some hotfixes out for 3.8. It's got a load of cool stuff in it, but there are lots of issues there. I want to get a 3.8 state of the game out, but also a roadmap to completion for Star Citizen, listing all the features that we know that Star Citizen wants to have. Maybe talking about how they might prioritize that, but it's going to be more of a list of what they have planned and what they're trying to actually provide us over the next few years. We can also look at ships and how many are left, how many are done, because we've got 2/3 of the ships that they've mentioned done in game now, and a third to actually implement. But we'll talk more about that later. Obviously, there's going to be some stuff to do on our monthly report and Squadron 42 update once CIG release that in the next couple of weeks. I'll get some 3.8 guides up, maybe a meta guide, maybe I'm making Alpha UEC guide, some other stuff like that. A video explaining potentially gameplay mechanics and what we know about land claim gameplay, the Pioneer building shops, things like that. Some people have asked me to do a Broken Promises video, looking at what CIG hasn't been able to deliver, or times they've changed their mind or rescaled or changed the project or whatever. So I might do something on that in the future if I can get enough information together. Meta guide stuff, as I said, I'd quite like to talk about the combat and flight models, component and weapons changes, make a quick shopping guide for that and what you want to be aiming for in 3.8 at the moment. Planet and moon changes, or a little bit of a tour of them. Gameplay mechanics, what we know about each of them. There is also various gameplay videos I'd like to get out there, like new missions, sort of like doing multi-crew jump claim missions, or claim jump missions, whatever you want to call them. The crash satellite mission I haven't done for a while, if they work even. And sort of like those versus missions I'd like to get filmed from both sides. Maybe do a mole mining gameplay video as well. There's some other stuff, but that's the sort of like top of my list at the moment. January should see some major updates to the Star Citizen roadmap and potentially Squadron 42s as well. It's the time of the year in January where CIG look at their features and priorities of the year, and they do a load of scheduling. We also now have Staggered Development going on at the same time as this now, so this is the first time we've had big rescheduling January with Staggered Development as a thing. So basically this has two sets of teams working on the next two proximate patches simultaneously. So at the moment that's going to be 3.9 and 4.0 being worked on. I suspect there is a skeleton team as well working on fixes to 3.8. The hope is that 2020 will have a more stable roadmap after this sort of like rework and rescheduling, and less features will be delayed and pushed back once they've been added to the roadmap in January. I do expect some movement of stuff still, and especially when they actually do some rescheduling, assuming that they are going to do a good amount of rescheduling. But hopefully they'll push it out to like 4.1, 4.2 as well on the roadmap, because we only have up to 4.0 currently. Things like salvage, physical inventory, components and damage, Titan suits, loads and loads of ships. Like I'd love to see Banner Merchantman on there, but I don't think we'll see that this year. But I'd like to see like a load of Crusader ships and modularity and some other stuff on the roadmap as well. We know Pyro they want to have in 2020. They want to have jump points. There's a lot of tech and a lot of core features, and maybe we'll see a big load of updates to Squadron 42. I'd like to see something closer to a release date for that. That's what I'm hoping for. Also, Theatres of War could potentially be out in the next few weeks, at least a test for Evocadi. Videos on all of this stuff once we know more, but Theatres of War was actually pretty good. I got to play it at CitizenCon, and it's fun. It's Star Citizen, but Battlefield 5 / objective style based quick matches. Hopefully CIG will add some new video content to their lineup as well. This year we should see Inside Star Citizen return in the next couple of weeks. I want to start up my Org Spotlight series again, but it's going to be more of just a spotlight series, and I want to look at events and fan projects and content creators as well as organisations. So if you've got any suggestions for that, you can drop it in the comments below or on my Discord. There is a thread for that. I'd like to have a proper streaming schedule as well. At the moment, this is currently Mondays and Fridays, anytime between 2 PM and 6 PM UTC, and typically for around 2 hours, but it's pretty erratic because I'm a monster. I'm going to be building a new PC over the next few weeks as well. I'm looking at something for content creation with a focus on playing Star Citizen, obviously, but I'm planning to use a Ryzen 3950X and a 2080 Ti GeForce and a very cool Star Citizen styled case, and we'll go through the build process and we'll talk about it, and it might be sponsored by some companies or something. I'm sort of like negotiating that and working it out still. A lot of it stuff was paid for by Patreons and donators in the past as well. I'll be using a lot of that money. But yes, looking forward to that because I've got a good PC, but I want to be able to compile in 4K. One of the reasons I don't create 4K videos isn't that I can't record it in 4K, because I can now. It's just that it will take me significantly longer to compile, and I don't have the time of the day to be able to produce a video every day in 4K. Hiring an editor, let's talk about that actually. As many of you are aware, I've wanted to get an editor to help me with the channel for a while now. In fact, I wanted to have one for June of last year. The person I'm planning to get to do this is Zinnia, one of my best mates in the world, and someone I play a lot of games with, and they are literally perfect for the role. And they're not just going to be an editor either, they're going to be a camera person and a co-host and a community manager, and help me with art and stuff, and generally help with content. Rather than being subcontracted as well, I'm not sure if people know much about UK employment law, I'm going to be hiring them properly, as I sort of have to, as her full-time job. And we sort of just have been a bit lazy on sorting out the final details of their contract. This is partly because she already has a job, and it isn't a priority for either of us at the moment to get it sorted, but it will be. I do think the addition of an editor and all the other job roles that I just gave them would have an amazing sort of like addition to the channel in production value and developing a style for the channel. Editing is something I'm horrible at, as is art, as is artistic flair. I'm not really mega interested in any of those things either, and I'm just not talented at it. It'll mean more content for the channel. It'll mean that I'll keep you updated on this continuing saga, I suppose, and I'm expecting to have it hopefully sorted out mid-2020 currently. That seems reasonable-ish, I think. A year later than I wanted. That seems about right. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll discuss it. My channel is massively community supported, and I generate income from YouTube ads, but also my Patreons, YouTube members, which is the little join button at the bottom, and it's thanks to these VIPs that the channel is able to exist and really has got to this stage. So a special thanks to Dalamars, Andy Green, Huntress, Dustin Hall, Mill, Nathan Ross, Gideon, Mantis, STG or Sergeant 3v3 Arsman, Pixie, and Shite. Beautiful names. You guys have gone well beyond the support of any normal human, and I would like to dedicate my January 2020 videos to you. I've got over 100 YouTube members now, obviously over 135,000 subs, but YouTube members are basically like the inbuilt Patreons for YouTube, and that's been absolutely fantastic. That's really augmented the channel financially. Thank you so much. You can also support the channel with feedback, content ideas, suggestions for content creators or orgs, or anything for my spotlight or content you'd like me to do, or products you'd like me to review potentially, whatever. Anything like that really helps, as does sharing my videos if you enjoy them. But if you get involved on Patreon, if you join as a YouTube member, thank you so much. It's super appreciated, and feel free to poke me, ask me questions, poke me on the community thing. I do need to start updating that content more. I want at least a exclusive video or thing or statement or interaction every couple of weeks with those guys, whatever medium you choose to support the channel additionally with. So thank you so much. What's that, you ask? What am I shilling for this month? Well, the same thing as every month, Pinky. Shadow, who are releasing some new hardware for their cloud-based gaming PCs that I've had the joy of testing recently as well, actually. This is a billion times more useful than things like Google Stadia for PC gamers, in my opinion, anyway. I have to say that probably for legal reasons or something. It enables you to have a fully custom Windows 10 gaming environment that can be leveraged over the internet, and you now have a range of options and hardware, but even the lowest end is perfect for Star Citizen, as long as you have an appropriate internet connection. I also shield for NordVPN and NordPass, a VPN and password manager respectively. NordVPN has massive advantages over free VPNs, and it's incredibly cheap. I'm thrifty, so I love them, and in a world of internet censorship and worries about security, I think VPNs are essential. Links below for those, and use the code BoredGamer for Shadow or Nord for a discount. I also have love for Game Glass, which turn touchscreen devices into controllers for games like Star Citizen. Also My Radar, who make a weather app, but also have the planetary bodies of Stanton in the Star Citizen universe and they continue to add more and more features for their weather app, which is weird, just having this augmented reality weather app, which is in-game and in real life. It's weird. There's also JR Fabrication, who make Star Citizen licensed props, as well as vehicle and ship models, Airfix style stuff. It's pretty cool. And that's it for another channel update, and the first one of 2020 in the new decade. I hope it's going to be a great year for Star Citizen, I hope it's going to be a great year for my channel, and I'm looking forward to expanding the channel. My content, and generally seeing what CIG have in store for us, is at the forefront of my mind currently. So thank you so much for watching, guys, to the end. You take care, and I hope to see you in the verse. Peace. Pew, pew, pew.